supporter of this project, and so postponing the event was an honor to his commitment and the realization of this project. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the signing of this agreement is an auspicious occasion, not just for Uganda and Tanzania, but the entire East Africa region. As we are all aware, this project will have an impact on socio-economic development and geostrategic dynamics. Among other benefits, the project will yield revenues to both countries while creating short and long-term employment for both highly skilled and semi-skilled professionals, as well as casual laborers, thus addressing the unemployment challenge, especially among the youth. It is expected that more than 10,000 employment opportunities are expected to be created during execution and upon its completion. Apart from socioeconomic benefits, the project will also stimulate trade, investment, as well as unlocking the East Africa's oil potential, thus attracting more investors. More importantly, this project will strengthen strategic partnership and cooperation between our two brotherly countries, and in addition, it will forge further the regional integration and people's interaction. It is my firm belief that this project, once completed, is involved, will be of for the added advantage to both our countries and our region at large. And on this note, allow me to commend all parties involved for their dedicated commitment and unyielding sacrifice of this common goal towards the realization of this common goal. Prior to the implementation of this project, I'm quite conversant. There are still pending issues that need to be addressed. There are still pending issues that need to be addressed. Parties to work together. To address the remaining issues, to ensure the expedient start of this project, to ensure the expedient, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, our region is well endowed with abundant natural resources. Our region is well endowed with abundant natural resources, which includes oil, gas, minerals, diverse number of wildlife and plants, as well as livestock and marine ecosystems. In order to fully and effectively exploit and utilize these resources, we need quality infrastructure. Without it, economic development will just be a myth. And in this respect, I'm pleased to note that our countries have now embarked on building strategic infrastructure to support these endeavors. Apart from the pipeline, we have embarked on the construction of roads, ports, airports, railways, as well as power plants to generate electricity. This is indeed a significant step in the right direction. I humbly wish to encourage all the countries in the region to continue building these infrastructures and projects that shall spur our economic growth. Your Excellency President Museveni, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, before I conclude, let me once again reiterate my heartfelt appreciation to you and the entire people of Uganda for a fraternal and warm welcome in this beautiful city of Entebbe, and in this occasion in particular. This is my first trip outside my country since I took oath of an office. And so I thank you very much for this invitation. And I'm very happy to be in Uganda. Uganda and Tanzania are not only neighbors and joined by Kagera River and Lake Victoria, but are also friends and blood brothers. For decades long, we have kept a close cooperation at bilateral, regional, and multilateral fora. And in this respect, I wish to assure you, Your Excellency, and through you, the government and the brotherly people of Uganda, that under my stewardship, I'll cement further the existing relations and scale to a greater heights new areas of cooperation for the mutual benefit of our two countries and our peoples. I thank you very much, Your Excellency, and I thank you all for your kind attention. Thank you very much.
I'd like to thank Her Excellency Samia Suluhu Hassan for these insightful words, and please give her another round of applause. It's now my pleasure and honor to invite our chief host, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, to come and address us. Mr. President.
Your Excellency, President Samia Suluhu Hassan, the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, and your esteemed delegation, the Chief Executive Officer, Chairman, and delegation from Total Français, the President and delegation from Sinuk, China, honorable ministers, ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellency, Samia Hassan, and your distinguished delegation, you are most welcome to your brother country of Uganda. Again, condolences on account of the death recently of our brother, His Excellency Magufuli. Also, congratulations on your inauguration as President of the United Republic of Tanzania. Thank you for responding to my invitation to join us and the Total Company of France and Sinuk Company of China to sign the agreement of the East African pipeline from Hoima to Tanga. Your brother country of Uganda discovered petroleum and gas in 2006. It has taken these 15 years before the first oil on account of the divergent perceptions between us and the oil companies. Initially, I did not favor the idea of pipeline. My question was, why export the oil? Don't the East Africans need the oil? In this thinking, I preferred an oil refinery only, so that we use the extractable oil out of the 6.5 billion barrels confirmed in only 20% of the potential area in the Mwitanzige and Butumbi valleys, known as the Albertine Graben by foreigners, to satisfy the demand for the refined products for Uganda, northwestern Tanzania, western Kenya, Rwanda, Burundi, eastern Congo, South Sudan, and southwestern Ethiopia, with cheaper products on account of the lower transport costs. The demand in this zone is now 98,000 barrels per day. Uganda's demand is currently 39,000 barrels per day. At the price of $50 per barrel, equivalent to about $63 barrel for refined products, this locally refined petroleum would knock off $1.22 billion from Uganda's import expenditure for petrol, diesel, aviation fuel, and tar for the roads. If you include the petroleum byproducts, such as plastics, the saving on the import bill would add another $400 million. So that would make it almost $1.7 billion saving on imports. Using the extractable portion of the 6.5 billion barrels confirmed, this would ensure petroleum self-sufficiency for the Lake Victoria Basin countries and those neighboring them for a period of 38 years based on the present consumption levels. This oil refinery would be owned jointly by the East African countries if they agreed to participate. So that was my original plan. Why pipeline? Why export the oil? I had a rumor that there were human beings here who need the oil. Why do you take it away from them and you take it to others? Why don't they deal with the self-sufficiency? The oil companies, however, were biased in favor of exporting crude oil only. For them, chukua nje. Kwangu, bakisha hapa ndani. The compromise then was, okay, let us have both, the refinery and the pipeline. So that's why we are here now. Most of this was when the Tanzanian route was not in the picture. We were still debating about Mombasa and Lamu of Kenya. When the Tanzanian route of Tanga became more viable, a new consideration entered my mind: the historical role of Tanzania in the liberation of Uganda in both 1978-79 and 1985-86. On these two occasions, Mwalimu Nyerere played a very important role. In the 1978-79 war, TPDF played the major role in removing Idi Amin from power. In 1985-86, Mwalimu Nyerere gave us 5,000 rifles at the right time, just before the assault on Kampala, starting on the 17th of January, 1986. Kenya, of course, is a brother country, just like Tanzania. However, historically, there is this unique role of Tanzania. I'm therefore most satisfied that the project will make a modest contribution to the development of Tanzania. It cannot compensate for the huge sacrifice Tanzania made for the defeat of Idi Amin and the liberation of the whole of Southern Africa, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, Angola, Namibia, and South Africa. It is just a modest contribution. Moreover, this pipeline project can be a core of bigger developments if the brothers in Congo and South Sudan choose to also use it for their oil. At the maximum, it can carry 230,000 barrels per day. Besides, the same corridor can take a return gas pipeline supplying Tanzanian and Mozambican gas to Uganda and the Great Lakes region. We can have a return, using that corridor, a return gas pipeline, because we need gas here. We need gas for iron ore. We've got iron ore, but processing it is, we don't have enough gas. We have some gas, but it's not enough. And the Ugandans, I think they're also getting a bit modernized. Cooking with firewood is not a good idea. So gas from Mozambique, from Tanzania. Our brother countries have got a lot of gas. Songo Zamani, I think that was the first one, Songo 1968. I salute the government of Tanzania for the tax concessions they made to keep the tariff paid by the owners of the oil to be limited to $12.77 per barrel. Recently, Uganda also made concessions regarding the land and export charges. This will in effect push the tariff to US $13.03 per barrel, just a small little bit up. The Lamu route was proposing US $15.8 per barrel as tariff. All this is on account of the extractable portion of the 6.5 billion barrels confirmed and licensed for production, as already pointed out. This is, however, only 20% of the Mwitanzige-Butumbi Basin, known to foreigners as the Albertine Graben. There is a high chance for more oil and gas to be found in the remaining 80% of the oil province, especially in the Mwitanzige area, such as Kibiro, Butiaba, etc. Then there is a totally new hydrocarbon zone in the northeast of the country, in the Mount Kadam Basin. There are oil seepages on the surface. There are source rocks. There are reservoir rocks. And there are also trap rocks, accumulation rocks, that have been seen by our experts. This petroleum, as Kasande was saying, the PS, was actually discovered by our experts. What he was telling you in 1986, when Shell came to see me to give me a license, I asked a question. Is there anybody who knows anything about oil in Uganda? There was nobody. They brought me a Ghanaian from Bank of Uganda, was an economist, and his only knowledge of petroleum was that he was handling the import papers of petroleum products. So I said I cannot sign an agreement with ignorance on my side. So that's when I told the minister to pick these young people who had degrees in chemistry, degrees in physics, degrees in geology, to go for masters in petroleum studies in Imperial College London, University of Aberdeen, and so on. So they went, and they came back in 1989. When they came back, I called Shell. You come back. I'm now ready to negotiate. Shell had abandoned me. They said, no, we are no longer interested. Why? Because the Soviet Union had now opened up. There was a lot of oil in the Soviet Union, so Shell had opportunistically abandoned me. So I said, okay, doesn't matter. We shall look for the oil ourselves. So these are the people who looked for the oil and saw it through aeromagnetic through seismological